So now, in the next this what sankalpa sparshan drashti mohehi grasyam buddhya vriddhi atma vriddhi janma karma anuyogani anukrameni sthaneshu rupani abhisampadhyate. So here so that means there is a kind of an analogy used that from the time of when the body is born, how big is the body? Very, very small. Now, what does the body need to grow?
Nourishment, food and drink.
It needs food and drink. So that means with food and drink, what happens? It grows. Now, the same analogy is used for a jiva. A jiva is what? This a person who, because of ignorance, takes oneself as an individual. Now, just as the body needs food and drink, what does a jiva need to continue? No, jiva
It needs the causal body to continue. It needs the actions, karma to continue.
Exactly. It needs causal body to continue. It needs karma to continue. It cannot continue without karma. So that means the karma, see, this is something which is very important. The karma that we think, so our whole orientation is do good karma. This good karma will make the jiva grow.
Correct.
And what are we trying to do? We are trying to not eliminate, but understand jivatvam as what? Relative. And where there is jiva, there is what? Parabrahma. One is a position of ignorance, the other one is the reality. So that means karma by its own nature, what does it do to your jivatvam?
It strengthens your
Strengthens your jivatvam. You have to see this. It's not like, that the people who are committed to karma, it's not a matter of feeling hurt. There's not a hurt. This is true. So you see, the thing is, the karmas strengthen samsara tree. So this is why the whole life of a jiva in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is equated to what? That there is this samsara tree. What is samsara tree? Samsara tree is, you come to this world thinking that I am a limited person, that you engage in the world to gain fulfillment. By engaging in the world through action, you get what? Karma phala. Through this process of actions and action, the results which are based on your actions, you do what? You multiply your samsara tree. So this is how the analogy is used, like Ashwatha tree, which is what? Which has, generally every tree has one root. Ashwatha tree has how many roots?
Ashwatha is the banyan, is it?
The banyan tree. The banyan tree has what? Multiple roots.
And
so
trunks.
That means multiple, the trunks themselves go into the underground and they become the roots. So this is how life of a jiva is. So that means it has become what? Multiple roots. Multiple roots because every human or equivalent birth we take, we not only expend some karma, we also accumulate new karma. And it has become what? A complex, well-rooted tree, which has its what? Roots are all spread all over. So this is where now any additional karma you do will, it will only strengthen the tree. So now, what is the purpose that Vedanta is talking about? This jiva, which is almost spreading like this tree, what is Vedanta doing to this jiva?
It is actually removing.
Exactly. So that means it is actually removing. So it is, in that analogy that we are using, it's almost equivalent to felling a tree. So that means if you want to fell the tree, and if you do karma, you are what? Counterproductive. I mean, in the sense that you are strengthening the tree. So this is why the key to felling the tree is what? To what? Get to the root for the cause of the tree. So this is why, let's continue with the example. Now imagine you want to fell this banyan tree, and what you see is only what? The branches, you see the trunk, you see the flowers, you see the fruits. Now, in your vision, let's say, what is there and you want to eliminate it, you cut the branch. What will happen?
A new branch will come up.
New branch will come. You cut the trunk. What will happen?
New
trunks will come. So that means, if you are really interested in felling a tree, where do you have to go? To the root. You can't intervene somewhere in between and expect the tree to fall. So that means you have to go to the root. Same thing. Life of a jiva, the more you engage in karma, more it will strengthen the tree. Even if you stop doing karma, what? How long will you stop doing a karma? Tell me.
Not possible.
Not possible. That's why in Bhagavad Gita it says even sleeping is a karma. You say, I don't want to do any karma because I'll get karma phala. Hey, sleeping is a karma. When you are supposed to go and work and you are sleeping, it's not doing your swakarma. So that means that sleeping that you think is no karma is giving you what? Papa. So this is how it is. So that means living a dull life, by living a dull life, you don't eliminate karma, because eating is karma, sleeping is karma, sitting is karma.
All are actions in it.
All of them are actions. As long as you take yourself to be karta, everything, all of these are karmas. So that's why this giving up action is really not you want to fell the tree. The action will, now look at this. This is where our logic works. The actions that I perform strengthens the tree. So let me stop doing actions, then it will weaken the tree. This logic will lead you to what? It is like cutting what? The branch. Because that not doing that means you are lazy going to work, you want to sit at home, but sitting at home is also karma. So inactivity cannot be, through inactivity you cannot fell the tree. Sitting quietly you can't fell the tree.
So no action is also action.
Exactly. There is a very nice verse in Bhagavad Gita, Karmani akarmayav pashet akarmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manusheshu. What seems to you like a karma, sitting quietly, is also karma. And that will also give you result. When you are supposed to go to work and you sit at home, that's not doing your swadharma. Doing something other than what is your swadharma, that will incur papa. So that means dull life is not a way to do it. Generally we think that the more and less activity we do, more and more spiritual we are. That's not true. Spirituality is doing the right activities. What has to be done has to be done. That is spirituality. Because you are in the grand scheme of things. And that scheme of things, you have come with certain skills, certain abilities, and you have a role to play. So that means now, if neither action will take me out of samsara, nor my non-action will take me out of samsara tree, what will take me out of samsara tree? That's the next question. So what will take you out of samsara is to go to the root of samsara. What is the root?
Ignorance.
Ignorance. Wow, Rajan. Good. So, see, when I ask these kind of questions, I have taught, but you have to extract from the right places to come up with these answers. Otherwise, even though it may seem like we understand, we are not able to extract right information to give right answers. That means there is some processing that has happened. This is very important. Our teacher used to ask us questions during the class. So most of the time people will look blank. Because it's true, it's difficult. It's not easy. It's not easy to answer questions because you are in that listening mode, and then all of a sudden he asks questions where you have to draw from something that you have learned before, but he wants to keep you alert. And your pattern of learning cannot become passive and just absorbing without, bringing out right things at the right time. That means there is this, otherwise generally what happens, listening is a passive activity. When somebody is talking and you are listening, it's kind of, so you get into some comfort zone, where it's like, when you chant. Some days you chant, you are very alert. Some days we chant and we get into some automatic zone.
And human mind cannot listen more than 5 minutes, it will wander off.
Absolutely.
That's the other issue. So we have
So
to
that
interact.
means he used to use few things. Ask questions. Keep you what? Alert. The second thing is humor. He used to use humor extensively to keep you alert. Third thing, storytelling. To keep you, this storytelling, people think, yeah, why is he telling a story? Here there is no story. Hey, and that is, it's not deviation. It is something that is so necessary, first of all, to lighten your mind so that you can understand some subtle things. The second thing is that you really need to, after a while, too many ideas a human mind cannot absorb. So you have to relax it. All techniques of teaching, master teacher. I'm not able to make people laugh even though Anna says I am, but I don't think so. So my method is to get people to talk a little. So that means that monotony is broken. And that's why very deliberately I allow people to talk in the class. People say, yeah, but when we listen to you, it's so much more methodical and it's all logical and it's much easier. When people start talking, then it all goes here, and there, and all. But it's actually necessary. It's necessary to keep you active. Otherwise, you get into this passive mode. Passive mode, you don't learn. Even though, see, nothing in this world is totally linear, and you have to get used to non-linearity. This is why coming to India is a good exercise for non-linearity. Everything happens all around. There is a noise, there is this, and you still have to do what you have to do.
There's a line that says in India, for everything that exists, the opposite is also true.
And all right in front of you. That is, everything happens, all contradictions right in front of your eyes. So you can't take one thing very seriously. Lovely. So this is how. So that means, don't think I'm praising India, I'm making fun of India. So, the whole life is fun. It is not you versus me and things like that. It's just, you have to see things like that. So that means, now, what is, so that means so for your samsara to go, what do you need to do? You need to remove the root, which is ignorance. Now, the ignorance about your true nature, which is, what is your true nature? Are you a karta or a non-karta?
Non-karta.
Non-karta. So now, the nature of ignorance is, I am a karta, but I have taken myself to be karta. And because I have taken myself to be a karta, I accrue karma. Because I operate as though I am karta and I get karma for every karma that I do, I get karma phala. Even the non-activity, I get karma phala. So that means if you want to fell the samsara tree, you have to attack, it's not the matter of doing or not doing anything, it is what you have to remove your ignorance. And for removing this ignorance, you need to inquire into what is your true nature. And in that inquiry, when you discover the fact that I have never performed any karma, why? Because there is a shift. What is the shift? Your eye has shifted from where?
Jiva to Atma.
Exactly. Your understanding of I has shifted from this body and mind to what? Awareness. Because of that shift you are seeing it. Not because you are blindly kind of, oh, I'm a karta. That is not called shift. So this is where your sense of I has to shift at the right place. So from that shift, you can say, I am Atma, which has never performed any karma. When you understand that, then the entire karma, which is in an account of a jiva, what happens?
Yeah.
It's all gone, all at the same time.
Because ignorance doesn't exist to sustain it.
Exactly. The root is ignorance. The root is ignorance, and what is built on that? What is built on that is sanchita karma. Sanchita karma is what? All your karma account. So therefore, this particular thing is, if you want to now, generally, now look at this. In any other case, you want to fell the tree, initially what do you need to do? I mean, generally what happens? What leads to the fall of a tree? When it becomes weakened, when it becomes old, when it becomes what? Diseased, then it leads to fall of a tree. In this case, it's slightly opposite. A jiva wants to fell the tree of samsara, and jiva has to become what? Dharmic. The jiva has to become what? Emotionally mature. Jiva has to become what? Hey, you have to have a nourished tree. In everything else, what a diseased tree dies away. Here, in order to fell the tree, you have to make it what? A healthy tree. Opposite. A person who is free from loads, person who is in connection with Ishvara, one becomes dynamic, one becomes enthusiastic, one becomes cheerful. It's the paradox is a nourished tree alone can be felled. An old dilapidated tree cannot be, the samsara tree cannot be felled. This is why our teacher used to say one thing. He says, people come to me and they tell me, Swamiji, I'm tired with life. So, it's just too much struggle. And I'm getting nowhere. So, then Swamiji says, so then I want to come to Vedanta now, Swamiji. He was such an actor, I tell you, he was just too good. Then Swamiji will say, hey, if you're tired of life, Vedanta is not for you. You live in the world, you become the person who is what? feeling good about yourself, you become the person who can handle situations, then you come to me, Vedanta will work for you. Whether you come to Vedanta after or while listening to Vedanta, you have to get well. After listening to Vedanta, you can't say, oh, I'm too burdened with my things. I'm all completely, now I just want moksha quickly. You can't say that. That means you're not using Vedanta to change your perspectives. Your perspectives have to become different. Where you saw burdens before, now it has to, the shift means what? Where you saw burden before, now it has to be what? Huh?
Fun.
Fun. Lovely. Lovely. This is really how it is. Wonderful you done. You make it as, you know how these kids, they play a game. So, you know, they go to these machines and they play. Now what is the game? So that means you are driving a car. When you are driving a car, so many cars are coming opposite side. And what is your job? To avoid them. To avoid accidents. So you go like that. So now a kid starts playing, right? This kid starts playing this game, and then one car comes and the kid is not fast enough. So what happens? Boom. Now boom happens. Can this kid sit and cry and carry the burden for the rest of the game?
Oh, the game goes on.
The game goes on. Your ability to what? It has gone, now let me see, and next is also coming. Now I can be what? Always more alert to avoid that. That has happened. Instead of brooding over it, let me look at the next challenge and see if I can what? Deal with it cleverly or not.
But for that you need to know it's a game.
Yeah.
Satya Mithya
So that
game,
means
no?
Satya
The design
Mithya, so that means the design. See, when you begin to inquire into the reality of things, itself will give you lightness. If you understand the meaning of what is inquired into. As he says, Satya Mithya will make you, you know, something that you took to be so real. We are not asking you to deny it, but we have to, what the right perspective to it. The right perspective itself gives you certain leisure. This is what, in fact, psychology does, no? So we are not like, this is exactly the method he used yesterday. He gave two nice examples. The same, without denying what happened, right? The first example was of this girl who, she underwent some losses and she felt she was responsible for it. So her whole psyche was what? Filled with guilt. Now, it's not like you have to pretend as though they did not pass away. We are not asking you to, right? The facts remain the facts. Now what changes is what? How you live. Yeah, that has happened. And in fact, you are not really responsible for it in that case. But because you keep dwelling on it, you miss the present. And what is the present? Present, everything is beautiful. You have a good wife, you have a good husband, you have a good kid. Now, because you carry burden for something in the past, it stops you from enjoying your present. So that means it is not, you know, not being in denial. It is changing person. Seeing the total, and in seeing the total, the weight that we carry of that automatically drops off. Otherwise what happens, the whole Vedanta is treated as, you know, some kind of give up the burden, give up the burden. You become even more tensed. Because I have to give up the burden, I have to give up the burden, but I can't give up the burden. So now, what else? Everything we make into trauma. Even giving up, we make it, convert it into trauma. then we are again self-judgmental. Oh, I can't do it, so that means I'm not progressing spiritually. Every small thing, we make it into a huge, that is a human tendency. So we have to intelligently stop it.
And it's almost like Vedanta says that you're supposed to, and this is supposed means that, but that Vedanta is telling you, so it's telling you to do it now, I'm not doing it. It's almost like again bringing it as an object.
Again, we get
Getting
into
into that.
them. So this is why our teacher used to say, he said, I never tell people what to do. If I told them not to do it, it is like, he told a joke. So now his memory keeps coming back to me. So he said, now imagine that you sit, now you are very conscious about your weight, suppose, and you want to not gain weight. Now you go to a person, a doctor or a nutritionist, and you tell that I actually give me something where I can eat as much as I want, but I don't gain weight. So he says, okay, it's very simple. Simple? I can't believe it's simple. He said, okay, only one thing you have to do, that while you're eating, you don't think of an elephant. What? What is the connection between my eating and thinking of an elephant and losing the weight? Where is the connection? You see no connection. So now next time you go and you eat and you think about what you don't have to think. So, what do I not have to think about? Elephant. So what have you done? You've thought about the elephant. And then you never lose weight. So this is what. Rules is like that. The more I tell you not to do, the more you will have the pressure of not doing it, and the more it will be what? Counterproductive. So therefore, lifting oneself out means the only way I can do it is to broaden your perspective. Make you see many different things, in light of which this vision becomes different. And this is exactly what he made her do. He said, hey, now concentrate on what you have now. And in that it's beautiful, but you are missing the beautiful because you are carrying a burden for something of the past for which you are not even totally responsible. Not, in this case, not at all responsible.
So one has to learn to operate at two levels.
Yeah,
Satya is the
exactly.
Mithya
And
is the other.
Mithya, absolutely. If you try to negate Mithya and say, I want to operate only from Satya. This is why, see what I told you. I said that a so-called enlightened wave is not only operates from water. From water there is no operating. Water is no karta. The wise person, the so-called wise wave, has a perspective of not only the water, also the ocean, and also the wave. Knows. So that means the depth of the vision is what? Much more. It's not denial of vagueness. It is understanding the vagueness, but understanding two more realities. If you try to deny waves to understand water, or when you say, I have understood water, so now wave is useless, and that is not knowledge. That is denial.
That is why you say intelligent living, because living is important.
Exactly.
But with that knowledge and with that understanding,
Absolutely.
living becomes intelligent. So you don't deny the living part.
Absolutely. So this is how. So the knowledge has to rise in the mind, and the knowledge has to rise, and in order for knowledge to rise, it has to be what? A nourished tree. Unlike in the other case, it is all old tree which is fallen. In this case, it is what? A nourished tree. So that's why a wise person is not a broken person. A wise person is a free person. This is different. Wise person is not disenchanted with life. Wise person celebrates life. This is how it is. So that means that is the conversion. And that is how one fells the tree, removes the ignorance. But in order to remove the ignorance, you need to nourish the tree. Nourish yourself with right attitudes, right values, right behaviors, everything, right actions, everything. So this is how it is. If it is not done, then the next verse, it says, what will happen? Nothing much. The sthula, sukshma, sharira will continue. And you'll have a next chance. No big deal. So this is what it says. Sthulani, sukshmani, bahuni chaiva, rupani dehi, swagunaihi runoti, kriya gunaihi, atma gunaischa, tesham, sanyogat hetuhu aparaha api drashtaha. If you haven't really figured out the root and totally eliminated root, which is the ignorance, what will happen? The samsara tree will continue. So that means when it comes to a human being, what will continue is, as Rajan said, what will continue is your causal body. Because the root cause of your causal body is ignorance. Now, as long as the causal body continues, it will give what? Rise to? Sthula and Sukshma Sharira. Jiva remains one.
Yeah. But that Jiva will be the new body.
So it's the right answer.
Yes.
Okay. No, new Jiva doesn't. New body is born.
New body.
Yeah. So new body, new physical body, and new mind.
Senses.
Mind and
Wonderful,
senses you are born with. So that means there is no, it's not like either you get it this lifetime or you don't get it. But if you don't get it this time, there is always a next time.
There have already been so many times.
There has already been infinite times. So don't worry. So this is how it is, right? So that means, this is like the first day, the first time Namu, she listened to my talk. She says, yeah, I get some, I don't get everything, but I'm not in a hurry.
Now I remember.
It is lovely. I said, Namu, you're a perfect student. You're not in a hurry. Wonderful.
But as we have been talking, like somebody is trying in this life for moksha, he works hard and harder, and then suppose he doesn't get the moksha because he doesn't reach the akhanda akar vritti.
Ah, wonderful. Okay.
Literally comes down. And the next birth, again he has to start from zero.
Okay, now that's a good question. Okay, so now there is a no. You don't have to start from zero. So now let's look at this. Then this answer will be given. That's a good. You don't have to start again from what zero. So here it says that now let's look at a normal jiva. What happens is from the sanchita. Then we'll see about this person who has already started the pursuit. So generally what happens is a general rule and an exception. General rule is that if you are not come to Vedanta, what happens? That you lived your life and you collected karma in this life, which goes back to where? Sanchita karma. It goes back to the big basket. Right? Now, from this big basket, any given combination can come. Anything can happen. So, this is why I think Gabby was asking one question which is important to understand, because I said that from a mango tree, only mango can come. So then she was saying, a jiva, once it is human being, only can it be human being? No, because the seed for that form, which is human being, is what? Not another human being. What is the seed? Karma. And that karma has the possibility of what? Any form, not only human form. So therefore, this individual comes back in any form. Now, that form can be what? Mostly a bhokta. Mostly a bhokta, there are what? So many different possibilities. Either on earth itself, any yoni which is other than human being is mostly a bhokta on this earth. Now, you can also come back not on this earth. So that's why we talk about 7 lokas down and 7 lokas up. So that means there are so many different lokas in this universe. So 7 lokas down, that means, now imagine, one has to get result for one's good actions and inappropriate actions. Now let's first take inappropriate action. My inappropriate action can be, for example, that I have stolen 100 rupees from somebody. That's my inappropriate action and I have to pay for it. Now somebody has killed somebody, that is also an inappropriate action. Both are inappropriate action, but can you say they are the same? No. They are different. They are different degrees, so therefore the experience that we have to go through are what? Different degrees. So therefore, there are different lokas which will give you what? Different degrees of discomfort. Same thing, I have done a good action. What is my good action? When somebody was, I went to the streets of London and I gave food to homeless. Wonderful. Excellent. That is a good action that will give you the result. There is no doubt about it. But then imagine there is somebody else who is running a hospital or running a shelter for old age, homeless people. The degree is what? Will they both get the same? No. The other person will get what? More. So this is how, in karma it is like that. Whether it is good or not so good, there are degrees. And for that, that's why your attempt is what? To do more and more and more. So this is how it will happen. So that means the person will get more. So that means whether on this earth itself the person will come as a with certain privileges, or the person will be mostly a bhokta in some other worlds.
So there is a
this is what we call samsara tree, and it all is within samsara tree.
What exactly is a bhokta?
Bhokta is an enjoyer.
And bhakti will be?
Huh?
Something known as bhakti also. Bhakta or bhakti? Or there is nothing like bhakti?
No, bhakti no. There is a bhokta and then there is a bhogya. Bhogya is the object of enjoyment.
And there is the process of.
And then there is and the bhoga is the process of enjoyment.
So yogi ka opposite is bhogi, kind of.
So yeah. So see, Vedanta is neither talking about a yogi nor a bhogi. Talking about a wise person. See, bhogi is the one who is engaging in the world and just wants to get this and get that. The yogi has somehow convinced oneself that the world is not going to give me the happiness, therefore let me withdraw from it. And Vedanta is none of the two. Vedantin is a wise person. He understands what can give what, is not either afraid of engaging nor what is engaging to an extent that the person loses sight of dharma and things like that. This is Vedanta.
The bhokta is actually an experiencer, not an enjoyer.
Experiencer. Experiencer, but the intention of the experience is to enjoy, but actually it may end up suffering also. The intention behind the experience means naturally you only seek enjoyment. So your pursuits are for enjoyment, but you end up with something else.
See, and bhogya is an object of enjoyment.
Yeah, bhogya is object of enjoyment.
So bhokta does not do any karma. He only spends his karma, right? He does not create new karma.
Yeah. So when you have a yoni, when you when you are born in a body which is predominantly a bhokta, you only expend the karma. You don't accumulate. So that means what decides is the existence of free will. If you have a free will, you accumulate karma. If you don't have a free will, then you don't accumulate karma.
That means it's a whole game. There is some consolation prize.
Yes.
If you don't get final.
So, therefore,
Can you close?
okay, we'll close. We'll close and we'll.
Why?
Yeah, we'll close. Yeah,
We'll close and we'll come.
we'll come. So we'll just come and we will see. Now, just so therefore, this punya papa will go on. And punya papa is all what? Doing good karma, it's all continuing of samsara tree. But in order for you to fell the tree, you ironically need a lot of punya. You can't move from papa to falling a tree. So that means you want to free yourself from punya and papa, but even to free yourself from punya and papa, you need punya. This is what we call order of Ishvara. That's why they say, as a result of lot of punya, a person gets to hear this knowledge. And that too, knowledge means, a person who has understood Vedanta. Otherwise, our teacher used to say it is Devanta, it is not Vedanta. So this is Devanta means your version of Vedanta, which is not really the teaching. You create a version of yours. So this is how it is, right? So that means you want to free yourself from the samsara tree, you need what? To take care of the root cause, which is ignorance. Now, in order to take care of ignorance, you need what? You have to, that means when you take care of ignorance, you free yourself from punya and papa. But in order to really take care of the ignorance, you need punya.
To come to this and understand.
Yeah, to come to this and understand this. So that means it's intricate. So we'll see next time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Ethics